Hey guys, hello and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to review some of the portfolios, and side by side I'll be giving some tips and what those portfolio lacks. So if you are interested in building your portfolio or you want some tips, then watch the full video, and without any further ado, let's get started. So here is my first portfolio. It's Piro.io, and all these portfolio I got from Free Code Camp website. I simply searched for some portfolio and I shortlisted 3 of them. And yes, this video is only for informative purposes and I'll be giving only suggestions. So no disrespect to all the sites, I highly love their work, but here are a few things that they can improve. So our first website is Piro.io, as I told you, and yeah, he got this big animation. I think it's P or it's IO, I don't know, but this animation is good and it's 3D, and when you rotate your mouse, this icon also rotates. Okay, so here is his work. He says, I am Perennial, and I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name good, and I help designers. He told about himself a little bit, and then he said, got any questions, contact me. So once you click on contact me, it will open this email page. Instead of this, I suggest to make a contact form. I'll show you in a minute what contact form looks like, and you can give your email in the footer. So here is one improvement that he can do is provide a contact form, and instead of this simple contact me link. The second thing is his work, and he listed 10 works. Okay, nice. And he has listed the companies in which he worked with. Okay, and then he listed his social media accounts. Okay, so here is one improvement that he can do is in his recent work he can provide thumbnails of the websites or anything which he made, like it's Artica Retail, so he can provide this picture so the portfolio looks a little bit interesting instead of just writing the text, because by seeing this text no one gets to know what the work is or what the website is all about, and all the thing is same. The good things that he has done is he has provided all his content in his one page. That's the most important thing to do. You should go for less clicks, and you see once you go to his page there are almost no clicks to see his work. Some people tend to only show the home page like image and says that click here to see my work or stuff like that. So he has done a great work in providing all his details and work on a single page. So let's move forward to our next site, which is djan.works. Okay, so it's his profile photo, and here he says, hello, I am Djan, and when you hover over it, it says about, work, contact. So that's the first thing I told you, that you should go for less clicks. Instead of this, he could provide this page, but his work and his contact details below the page, so the user or the job recruiter has to suffer less to see his work. By seeing this text, you will not get an idea of where his work is. So that's the thing he can improve. Okay, he says, I design and build digital products. It's his photo, and here is about section, and here is his resume. One good thing he has done is he has provided his resume over here, and which is a really good job, because your portfolio is good, your resume can't replace your portfolio, but if you have provided a resume then of your prior work or your studies, etc., then it's really good. Here one thing I would like to add is when you are providing your details, then always go for the stories. By saying this, I mean that you should provide your details in form of stories, not just blunt facts, because stories are 20 times interesting than fact, and humans can remember them for a long time. For instance, if you are a designer and you want to say that you know how to do user test, then you can say that how once you ran a user test and how it got successful and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go back to his homepage and see his work. InVision, digital apps, archives, freelance, educate. Okay, so another good thing he has done is he has provided his category. So I've seen that many people tend to list all their works in just one category, work. Like they say work and they provide all their photos and works. You should not do that, as it's hard for the job recruiters to search for the skill that they want. So let's go to his work, and I think here is his case study of InVision Studio. He has provided details about InVision Studio history and other stuff, design system manager and all. Okay, so once I scroll down, this bar goes from this start point to this end point once I reach the end. Okay, it's good. The reason why I said that you should try to provide all your work within one page, cause let's say if the job recruiter liked his work and he want to contact him, then he cannot contact him simply from this page. Instead, he has to first click on this djan.works, and then again he has to click and then again he has to click contact, and then again he has to click this his email ID to contact him. So it might get a little bit frustrating for the user. So it might get a little bit time taking for the user to contact him or to go from one page to another page for website like this. He has also not provided the contact form, which I highly recommend you to provide, because you can list your email in the footer of your website, but I suggest you to provide a contact form also, because it gets a little bit easier for the user to contact you. His website is little different from others, and it's a nice concept, man. I really appreciate his work. He has directed to scroll your mouse, and once you scroll, his work keep coming. Okay, so he is a motion designer. Here is a button for his work, about, and email. So he has provided his work on the front page, but 3 of the works only, and the rest he has provided on his work page. Okay, so it's good. Here are his works. He's a motion designer, and once I click, I get to see all his animations over here. He has provided his Instagram, Dribbble, Behance, and all other accounts over here. Let's go back to his web page. Let's go to his about section. He's a Belgian motion designer currently working at Buck.la. Okay, so it's good to provide the company where you are currently working at. I think he has given his phone number, he has given his Gmail account, and another website which don't has a contact form. So the goods of the website is the animation, of course, and I like this concept and the colors he has used. But instead of providing just 3 animations, it could be great when if he provides all the work over here in the single row. And that is it. Now I will tell you some of the tips which you need to build a good portfolio. For instance, let's take this site, findmatthew.com. It's a great site and a good example of a portfolio. So here he says, hello, I'm Matthew, I'm a full stack web developer, and here is a jump button to view his work. So as I said, it's a good user experience, because if anyone wants to see his work, then he has to not worry much. Just click the button and you will be directed to his work section. So here is his about section. He has told that he's fast, responsive, dynamic, etc. He has told about himself. One thing that he should not do is that he has graded his skills according to himself. So you should not grade your skills for the things you do, because maybe for him CSS is 90, he know 90% of the CSS, or he has 90% experience in CSS. But for the company in which he will be going, for them it's 100%. Or for UI design he knows 50%, but maybe the company which is hiring can think that okay, he knows only half the UI designs, he's not very much good in it. So you should never grade your skills. They will grade it themselves when they hire you. Okay, nice animations. He has provided his works, and as I told you, category is important. He has provided categories in terms of programming languages in which he can code. So it's really nice. Here is Ruby, Rails, React.js works, JavaScript works. And here is a good point to show your category, is that it shows your versatility. For example, if I am a UX designer and I am just putting my mobile designs, then the client may think that I am just bound to mobile designs. Instead of this, I should post my works regarding mobile design, web design, illustrations and all. So here is his blogs. If you write your blogs, then I'll highly recommend to put it on your website. Yeah, here is his contact form. So another good thing that he has his contact form. So the client does not have to worry much about contacting him. Just type your name, email and submit. Here is his social media account. So it's a really good portfolio. Another good thing about his portfolio is that it requires less click to see his work. So let's go to my website, which is advicehub.com. You can also visit there if you want blogs regarding portfolios or programming, etc. So if I go to programming section and then portfolio, so here I have listed a bunch of tips that you can use to make your portfolio top notch and upstanding in the Google research. Okay, so I'll quickly summarize all of the tips, but I'll highly recommend you to go and read the entire blog. So I have said that only include your best work. Yes, you should only include your best works, and here only 5-6 works can do the job for you. You should never go for listing 20, 30, 50 works if they are not good. If you think that they are top-notch works, then you can surely present them, but 5 to 6 works can get the job done. Show your versatility, as I said you before, that you can make categories of your work and show them, so the client thinks that you are not bound to only one skill. Use high resolution images. Of course you should use high resolution images, because if your images are not right and they can't provide the details of your work, then it's no use to put them in your portfolio. Look at the most important thing. Yes, you should go for the overall variety and overall result of your portfolio. Tell it in a story way. Of course, as I told you before, that when you are providing details of your work or about yourself, then you should tell it in a story way rather than stating facts. and ask opinions. Yes, you, if you have worked before and you are building your portfolio, then you should ask for opinions from your colleagues, your manager, or mentors. You can find them easily. Include a prominent contact form, as I told you before, that just giving your email is not good. You should also go for contact forms. Check out website responsiveness. Yes, you should check out for responsiveness. Okay, so here when I go to his website and check out for his responsiveness, it's looking identical to the computer one. Keep it simple, of course. If your work is hard to find, or if your contact form is hard to find, or if your categories are hard to find, then it's a huge negative point in your portfolio. Go for less clicks, as I told you before, and here I have stated where you can find domain names, hosting, etc., all that stuff. So you can, I'll provide the link of this blog, and so you can see all the work. Okay, so with this I am ending the video. The motive of this video was only to show some of the common mistakes that people do in their portfolio. No disrespect to anyone or any developer, and thank you for watching this video. If you are new, then please subscribe to the channel. It helps my little channel grow. It keeps me motivated to post videos daily.